parents down there.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the airport for the second Rotary meeting of the month. If we could all stand and begin by finding the American flag to the
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test. Practice flag.
Is it true that all concerned will build goodwill and better friendships, will be beneficial to all concerned?
Good morning again, and everybody grab a seat. Fill in the chairs around the table here. So Where's Jay? Hey, those of you guys who just got here, you're supposed to stop talking now. We have a guest today, Jay Harrison, past president of the Orange Rotary Club. Hey, introduce yourself.
Thank
Tell
you.
me what you do.
Well, folks, it's good to be back in Orange. I lived in Orange from 1999 to 2006. I was for that 7 years, I was the Main Street manager, what was then called the Orange Downtown Alliance. And my former wife, some of you may know, Lee Nixon Harrison, she was a curator at James Madison Montpelier. We're still good friends. So it's good to be back here. I've discovered some things that belong to the club that were in my process of downsizing. I'm getting ready to move, hopefully soon, to a little fancier accommodations at Fredericksburg, maybe. And I discovered several boxes of documents. I'm a historian by training, archaeologist also by training, and they're all meticulously filed away from prior to my time, all the way from 1984 until 2006 when I left the club. I also included a bunch of equipment. Whoever is going to take that stuff from me today, I hope. I'll go over that stuff with you all, but it's all been prepared.
Jay, we're missing a lot of alcohol too.
Yeah. I knew that was going to come up because I was charged with alcohol back in the day, and I had to keep close watch on that. So that material, that stuff passed on to John James, I think, back then. So, but nevertheless, I had a great time when I lived here in Orange. I'm a native of Fredericksburg, 7th generation native of Fredericksburg. We've been in the Fredericksburg area since about 1650, a long time. On my mother's side and also my father's side. But nevertheless, it's good to be back here. I don't recognize many faces. A lot of folks, I guess, have moved on or retired or passed. I'm sorry to hear. But I see 2 familiar faces, or maybe 3, from my time here. And I understand now the Orange Downtown Alliance now love Orange, Virginia, I believe. And I have a meeting with Charlotte Cole after that day I found some of her stuff belongs to her organization too. It's amazing when you work for such a long time how things go from your office into your home inadvertently, so especially files. And so I have a lot of files that need to get back to the right people. But nonetheless, I appreciate you wanting me to speak. It's nice to be here in this wonderful airport and a space, a place that was so special to my family. And growing up, my daughter, Tori, now lives in Richmond, and she grew up here, went to Orange Elementary, Orange Middle, and also Orange High School. Graduated from there. But nice to see you all, and happy holidays, and thank you for allowing me to come today.
No problem.
Thanks for having
Thank you very much, and you're always welcome to come back.
Thanks. Yeah, I was club president 2005, 2006. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Nice to see you all. It's a long time ago.
Excellent
Yeah.
work.
Thank you. Nice to see you all.
It's not a very long commute. You could come back and be a member.
Well, you're very kind. You're very good at persuading someone, so thank you.
Well, thank you very much for coming this far. I'd like to turn the meeting over, if I may, to Mark Herndon, who is our host today. We'll introduce our speaker, and we'll get things moving. All right.
First of all, before I introduce Glenn, I guess everybody knows, or you should know, that the Rotary Club is the executive sponsor of Troop 14. Every Boy Scout troop in the country has mostly it's a civic group or whatever that's a host. And I think ours actually goes back, I don't know, Glenn, if you have any history, it's either 29 or 30, somewhere around in there for the Boy Scout troop. The troop in Orange is over 100 years old, which they just celebrated a couple of years ago. And but anyway, So my role with that is, I'm the executive director. I don't know what that means, other than I have to sign a bunch of papers every year.
You
For-
get paid more.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm hopefully double that before long. But anyway, and, but what, it's been a long time, Glenn, since we've had someone from the troop, and that's probably my fault, but, finally got Glenn. Glenn Forney is, the current scoutmaster for the troop, and Glenn lives in town, retired Air Force, military Air Force. And I'll tell a little story of myself real quick. When I called Glenn, I said, Glenn, I know you, but I can't put a face. He didn't say dummy, but he said, you sold me my house. So, all right. So now, then I had it, boom, and now I remember who you are. But Glenn, glad you're here today. And I just asked, kind of update us a little bit on Troop 14, what they're doing, what the future looks like, and anything we can do to help, let us know. Glenn, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I did some pictures this morning, which I don't know, how many of you ever been up to the Scout House?
No.
Very few. Well, it's totally different now. We had a yard sale where we got a whole lot of stuff. A lot of it we couldn't use, some of it we could use. So we had a yard sale, and a woman come to look at this curio that we had. It was a huge, well, you'll see a picture of it in here. Huge curio. And when she saw how big it was, she said, there's no way I can even get it. It took 4 of us just to pick up the base. And then it was the same, with all that glass in it, it was the same way. So we just kept it in there. And you'll see a picture of it in here. I'm trying to think where I was going with that. I haven't seen the moment already. Have them a lot. But she worked for this company in Charlottesville that does a lot of work for nonprofits. But she says, we can do all kinds of stuff with this place. I mean, we haven't done the floor, because the floor is, when they decided to build the Scout House used to be over behind the courthouse.
Right.
And we got a picture of it in here, and it was just about dilapidated. So when they redid it, they just tore it down and they built us one. But when they took and put the floor in, they didn't smooth it, they raked it. So it's got bad bumps all through it. But I'll just pass this around. This is the outside, and you just turn the page and you see they completely painted the inside. We got some donations from Corner Cabinet Shop, gave us a vanity, because we got 2 troops in there. Troop 2020 is a female troop, and 14 is the male. So we had to have a bathroom for both. So they went ahead and donated the vanity, and we had that put in, and they painted everything, they did a lot. The curtains we bought at a yard sale, and one of the women at the troop hemmed them up so we could hang those. But it's a work in progress. But you can see, if you've ever been there before, it's 100 times better. We got 6 boys now, and we're down from 20. We've been 20 for a while, or right at 20. So we have 6 now, trying to get some more in. But things that we've done here just recently, well, last weekend we hang the door hangers. If you live in town, you probably got a door hanger. I hope we did. We went, really?
No, I did not.
Oh, boy.
I didn't either.
And we always done
I
that.
I'm on East Main. I didn't get one.
And I'm just on East Main and I didn't get one.
Oh,
Did you got one?
I got one.
I hope you got one.
I got it.
I put it on your door.
Yeah.
If you are in town and you want this next Saturday after 9 a.m., if you just put bags of food out on the front porch where we can see it from the road, we'll go come by and pick it up. We do this every year with the food bank, and I think last year we got 1,500 pounds total to give to the food bank, which they really use it this time of year. But this last Saturday, we did an event with the council, which we try not to do a whole lot of things with the council because it's usually in Charlottesville. But they said that if we come and hand out game day towels for the fans, they'd give each scout $20 to go to the troop. So we had a good time, especially with the Notre Dame fans, because as soon as they saw the orange towel, they said, "Oh, it's not green." I said, it is green, it's whatever color you want it to be. So then a lot of them took them, a lot of them were offended, and just walked away, but they tore us up anyhow. We've done a couple road cleanups, Brick House Church Road, we've done that twice, and it was a disaster. We got 2 whole pickup loads of stuff that we took out of there. And then we've done one at, with a 2A group out of Culpeper, does cleanups of the parks up in Culpeper. We went up there and did that for a whole weekend. That was pretty fun too. The kids loved it. We put flags out on Main Street with the Legion. We do that a lot. Matter of fact, one of them helped me the other day pick them back up.
And you got your holes in the,
And we
section
used
of the
it.
street, yeah.
But we have to do a little bit of modifying.
Yeah.
I got
Is
the
it
pipe
just a size?
yesterday.
Okay.
It's just too deep.
Yeah.
So I'm cutting 18 inches of
Oh,
pipe
great.
to put down in there so it won't.
Oh, thank you, that's
It'll
nice.
do really good that way. And it'll probably be also easier for us to pull them out too.
Great. Excellent, thank you.
We do a lot of camp outs. The last scoutmaster is trying to adopt 3 girls that have a whole lot of problems, but he just resigned because he wants to make sure that he can spend some time with these new girls, and he's still in the process of adopting. So that's why he stepped down and I stepped up. So if you see my shirt, it still says assistant. But we do a lot of camping, and a lot of times when we don't have a place to go, we camp at the Scout House because it's right there and nobody has to go out of their way to go somewhere. But we just did that a couple weeks ago, and it was some of the boys' first time camping out in the chilly weather. Right now, we're doing a candy bar fundraiser. We did a fundraiser in the summer in front of Altman's, and we did pretty good. We made $370 selling hot dogs. We did attend a town council meeting. We met the mayor, and 2 of the boys got to talk to the mayor, which was one of the things they had to get signed off. We did a candle fundraiser where the Scoutmaster decided to make candles in mason jars. They really went good. I think we got like 5 left. And we did a spaghetti fundraiser last winter, and it was COVID. We did a drive-through. And this January, we're doing another one, so we'll make sure and advertise it well. Maybe you want to come to it. It's probably going to be at the Legion. I mean, it's going to be at the Legion. I think it's the 22nd of January, but I'll put that out. And hopefully it's going to be inside. Last year, we went to camp at Camp Shenandoah over in Swoop, the big city. And that's the council camp. But this year, we're going to go up to, I can't remember the name of the town. It's all right off of 15 in Pennsylvania, and it's right there at Hillsburg, where Baker's restaurant is, real close to that. So I said the leaders can go down there for breakfast in the morning. We do a lot of state park camping. We did one this last summer, and probably the first time that some of the boys had ever been at a camp in quite a while. Because all the ones we got now, we've got the highest rank, I think, is first class, which is a third rank up. But we had a bunch of them drop out when Kevin, I think y'all met Kevin Torrey,
Yeah.
when he was there, but a bunch of the older ones that weren't gonna be able to make it till they're 18. I got one now that'll be 18, I think it's in March, somewhere in that area. And he already said he's not gonna make it to Eagle, but he wants to stay in the troop and be a junior scoutmaster. So we need all the help we can get. Anybody have any questions?
Where's the current scout building?
Where the American Legion is on Newton Street,
Mhm.
right at the end.
Oh, okay.
Right behind it.
Behind it.
Oh,
it's
okay.
a little bit.
The American Legion actually owned that building legally, and we have a lease. Actually, we just signed the lease, a 15-year lease for $1.
Nice.
And that's mainly for insurance purposes, which they bear the insurance on the building, the Legion does. But back to the numbers, because Tracy Statham has a pretty strong Cub Scout group right now. So
Yes.
hopefully, because I know I've got a grandson who will be eligible next summer, to move up to scouting. So,
Oh, good.
and there's some other boys in there too that close to that same age. So hopefully it'll be about 3 or 4 more moving up, but,
What's this like last March, we had 4 that were moving up. 2 of them came up to the first meeting and then they dropped out. They only went to 1 meeting. Paige is one of Paige's sons. And I can't think of the other one. But we definitely need some more to come up.
And most of the boys you get are from around the town, aren't they? They're not
Yes.
from Locust Grove or anything.
No, I think they have a trooper in Locust
Oh,
Grove.
okay.
Yeah, I know that they do, and they also have one in Unionville. But we, if you saw the pictures, we used to be Troop 1. And in 15 years, I think is what it is. 150, and I don't want to stop. If I get 1 kid, I want to keep going. Because there's very few, there's troops that are over 100 years old.
Could you pass the pictures on this side?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
And that's one of the things that we have the original banner. And then everybody tries to get it from us, so I finally hung it on the wall. Oops.
I don't know when, because back when I was in the Scouts 50 years ago, because Barbersville had a troop, Gordonsville had a troop, Unionville, Orange, of course, because Gordonsville and Barbersville don't have troops anymore. But again, you're right. Once it's gone, it never comes
Yeah.
back. It
We've
never will.
got a picture, yeah, right there at the 100-year, that's the old scout house. If any of you want to come up there and look anytime, just give me a call. I'll gladly let you in and you can look, because there's a whole lot of pictures.
Like, I don't know if it was a learning experience, not because no, because Bill would know this, because the Scout House is right beside the jail.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd rather be in this building than that building, so let's go home that way.
Did you know two?
Keep them out of trouble, I guess.
That's why it's called JLO's Hill. That's what the jail was.
You know, our 2 first Eagle Scouts were H.B. Sedgwick and Ed Sparks,
Right.
which is really good.
What are you doing to recruit or how do you go about it?
A lot of times we try through the schools, but like our number, like you said, our number 1 is when Cub Scouts age out and get to the certain, they do the Weeblos, then they do this Arab Light, and then they can transfer into the Boy Scouts. And they have to go, that's the one thing, they have to go on a camp out with us just to see how it is, and then come to a meeting, and then they make up their mind whether they want to do it or not. And we had, like I said, we had 4 that were, I think, crossover is what it is, they cross over. We had 4 and only 2 of them came, and they didn't stay at all, which is usually unusual because most of them go all the way through Cubs and then go all the way through Scouts. But COVID didn't help either,
No.
because we didn't have meetings for almost a year. We did them Zoom meetings, and a lot of the Cubs are doing the Zoom meetings, and they used to meet at the Orange Elementary, and now they're meeting at the Veterans Park, which I don't know how long she's going to do that, because it's kind of chilly sometimes at 7 o'clock at night.
Right.
Yeah. But then she was going to come today, and I don't know what happened to her, Tracy,
Right.
and she was going to talk to you about her trip. I think she's down to 3 girls now.
I don't know if you have to be close to your building or not, you know, the community room, you know, where we had the meeting. That's a good place to meet, it's big.
Oh, yeah.
So you could call, and reserve that if she wanted to use it in the winter time. And it's big, you can spread out if you want to, this might be something.
Yeah,
that
that
might
would be
help.
good for them.
You could camp there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can camp in
As long as there's a coffee pot, you can live anywhere.
And there is.
Any more questions for Glenn?
I'm just wondering how the Girl Scouts, you know, the new affiliation.
Well, it's not really the Girl Scouts. It's
Oh, yeah, so what do they call
Boy Scouts. It's girls' troops.
Okay.
They're doing great. I mean, the first year they started the girls into the program, I'm thinking it was 2019. There was 26 Girl Scouts. I mean, excuse me, Eagle Girl Scouts. That many since in that little short time, since 2019. And I mean, the girls' hand stuff, they are 10 times better. I hate to admit it, because this last year at scout camp, archery, they were tearing all the guys up. And the same thing with the 22 and even the welding. They're showing these guys up. All the instructors are saying, what's with these women? I mean, they're tearing their eyes up, and something like welding. He said that stuff that they really have to pay attention to, they're really good at it. But the guys, all they want to play.
Yeah. Glenn, one other thing I want to mention, which is close to us, especially this time of year, is the scouts help with the chocolate at their Christmas tree, but a memorial tree after the parade, which comes up December the 5th. And Sam told me to say all of that, so.
Yeah, you have done it for at least a long
Yes.
time, Benny Paul.
We're planning on doing it this year too.
And if you don't do it, Mark has to do it.
Oh, yes, that's why he wanted us back.
Yeah.
Glenn, thank you very much for coming. A little something to appreciate.
Glenn, you're more than welcome to stay and enjoy the rest of the meeting, or won't be upset if you leave us. So
Okay.
thanks very much for
That's
coming.
good, because I just had,
We are actively interested in growth, so please call us. He slows down, I had to stick with it, so.
okay. There you go. Yeah. The greatest I've been to
I'll get my shoes, it makes me look better.
Let's have a few things. We're moving into our busy season. And I really don't have an order. The next major event is only 2 weeks away. So it is our parade and the commemorative Christmas tree.
Can I correct that? Next big event is next Tuesday morning.
That's right.
The PRD.
Excuse me, that 20, what's it, 23rd, right? Talk about that a little bit while you have the floor break. Give everybody an update on when
So
we're going to
8
meet.
o'clock at the PRDC building, we're going to meet in the basement.
What time did you say?
8 o'clock in
8
the morning.
o'clock, okay.
Regular rotary time, takes about an hour and a half to package. 500 toothbrushes, toothpaste, and dental floss to go to the toy box program. So we've had some volunteers, 8 or 10 people would be plenty to get this done in about an hour and a half max.
It's amazing how, if you have lots of hands, how quick that goes. And it's a lot of fun. You just see they usually have a couple lines and all compete with each other. At the end of the day, you got to make sure nobody ends up with a bag without a toothbrush in it. That we have the quality controls got to be pretty good. But this is really an important thing. This goes to Walt Roberts and Robin Sons Christmas toy thing, those of you that aren't familiar with it. And while I certainly don't disagree, the toys are important for the kids at Christmas. This toothbrush thing is really, has become a really key part of it. I mean, the parents look for this because that's probably the toothbrush they'll have in their family for a little while. And in fact, the question came up last year is, how come we only get one? You're supposed to change toothbrushes out every 3 months. So I told Donna when she said that, I said, well, if you want more than one, you got to come to us before sooner than the day before the event, so that we can put it in our budget, because that's where the money is. It's in buying these toothbrushes, and they're, what, $1 a piece or something like that, or I forget how we do it. They buy them a fraction of what we can pay for them, even at places like Costco and Sam's. But bottom line, it's, if you make 500 bags, you're looking at 500 extra bucks or more. So I said, come to us early, and we'll put it in the budget, and we'll do it. Never heard back from them. Never, in 2 years now, nobody ever came back and said, well, we need more toothbrush. But anyhow, it's an important thing, and it's a lot of fun. And usually, or if you get there at 8, we're usually gone by 9 or 9:15 or something like that. So please, if you can, try to be there.
They do want us to everybody to wear masks.
Okay, masks, okay.
And the other advantage, of course, is letting the community know about the low-cost dental services they provide. So it's both get the product from the kids, but also let them know about.
There'll be
the
some
services.
literature we put in the bags as well, to tell some parents about what the RTC does.
Where is the bill?
It's, what is, I don't know the name of that shop.
It's a Tractor Supply.
Tractor
Orange
Supply.
Family
All the
Business.
car, yeah, Orange Family Physicians here, it's on the other
Right.
end.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a brick building.
South, south of Orange.
Well, thank you, Greg. I'm sorry I passed over you.
I'll make a quick announcement.
Yes.
Last last Saturday, a week ago Saturday, was the Montpelier Hunt Races, and we were looking for help. And I was hoping Dwayne was here, but he's not. But I mentioned to Dwayne that we'd love a couple volunteers. Well, we'd pay them from the high school. And we got this one young guy, Anthony Owens, whose mom is a teacher at the school,
Patrice Deo, is a mother,
I guess, Mrs. Owens.
that's the dentist, she's a dentist.
Oh, right, yeah. And Anthony must be like 15, very polite. He killed it. It was amazing. Lorraine and I were both, he was like, and then at the end of the day, when you're done with all your selling and all this other stuff, you got to tear everything down. Having a young person there lifting all the grid and all that was really great. So
That's good.
we were psyched, and I think he was.
Yeah.
So if anyone needs anything, go to Dwayne, I guess.
While you have the floor, would you bring us up to date on the Anna Collins tree?
Sure.
I don't think these folks know much at all about that.
Right.
So this is Jamie thought this up and is carrying the ball, and you'll just bring us up to date on it.
So Anna Collins passed in July. Mike Collins' wife of 30 plus years at the high school teaching French. And so we thought that a tree planted, would be a nice gesture from the club for one of our own. And Mike went a step further and said, boy, if it could be planted at the high school, that would be better, because she spent so much of her time there. And working with Bill Berry, we got a perfect location for a dogwood. Dan Gregg picked out the dogwood, and it'll be going in probably before Thanksgiving. And so Mike was really psyched about it. He's gonna get together a plaque, in memory of Anna, French teacher, whatever it will say, I don't know, but it'll be in French. And then on the other side, donated by the Rotary Club, and we'll say OCHS, school. So that's the story, and he's thrilled. He's going to have a lot of family up at Thanksgiving, and they're going to hold a private ceremony, which I think is good. No paper, no. So it'll just be there forever. Oh, and it'll be the French students who water it throughout the year, which is kind of cool. It sort of ties it all together. So.
We have to bone up on our French if we're gonna go there, right? Yeah. Jamie, thank you so much. And thanks for bird dogging that. You really carried the water on that program. I think it's a nice tribute to the loss of a spouse of a member, particularly someone that has such a strong connection to the local community through the school and so forth like that. So Anyhow, so let's move on to Sam, the parade man.
Yes, sir.
I know you gotta go to work, so.
Everybody knows when the parade is at, right?
Second Sunday of December,
That's it.
first Sunday in December.
Yeah, December 5th, so hopefully everybody has that marked on the calendar. Doctor's excuse is required for entry into the Christmas party the following Tuesday. You know, try to be there if you can, and just like every year, you know, it's very helpful if everyone can be there, but if you can't, you know, if you got something that's important, I understand, but do try to come for the day. So a couple of us, like Greg, and, you know, Mark's going to be helping, and maybe Crystal hasn't confirmed with you yet, starting around middle of the day, but the majority, and when I send the email out with the schedule, is 2 o'clock is when we want to meet to get started, and meeting at Greg's office. Everybody knows where that's at, right? The new office, and to do the you know, the meeting that we have before the parade every year to get everything organized. So 2 o'clock is when I need everybody there. Also in the email I'm going to be sending out, check and see, some of you I think still have the red sweatshirt. I just need to have an idea of who has them. And then also the email will ask new members, you know, what size you need. And because I've got to get those ordered as soon as I can with Buck, I need to update or replenish our supply, but also want to make sure I get the right sizes for any new members.
Used to be oversized, so you can put it on something.
That's true. Yeah, good point. So yeah, because
And they shrink too, every year.
yeah. I agree. He did. Last year, not just once.
Yeah.
We need to try more. And I should say, if you have one since the past year and all, if you're like me and you COVID put on some weight, check to make sure the one you have fits.
Sam, are we able to buy them? I mean, I know we give them back to you, but would you, are we able to buy them?
You get one free after 20 years of
Service.
But no, I mean, you could, yeah. I mean,
And where are we meeting at 2 o'clock?
Greg's off.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
So,
that.
and I didn't ask you, is it best to use that side door?
Side door.
So if you know, facing the tracks, he has a door back towards your back that goes right to his conference room. And also, that was neat this year, the first time, Rita was actually interviewed by JD Slade live. She didn't realize it was a live, not live, but recorded. She thought she was just talking to him. Well, no, he was actually recording it for the play, but he only played it one time. He's going to do it again this week or next week with her. So that was cool that you know, Rita got to do that. It was probably better if she didn't know it was going to be advertised, played on the radio.
I'm not sure everybody knows who Rita is.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's 103.3. 103.1 is if you tune your car radio to that and leave it there for the next couple of weeks. So Rita Odette works at Blue Ridge Bank, and you know, yeah, if you're new and don't know who she is, she's been helping for years. And her and Alina, for those that haven't heard me say this before this year, they are huge help. I do a lot of talking like I'm doing now, but they do a lot of the work behind the scenes. And Rita is the one that coordinates all of the entry forms as they come in. So, you know, like she gets the mail and pulls out all the entry forms and keeps those organized for me. And just so you know how my job, I mean, she hands me a folder and it has all the entry forms in it. So that's a huge help. And she keeps track of everybody so that every year she has a mailing list too that she just adds to if somebody new comes on, and she mails out the entry forms because people still like having a paper copy. And we can tell because we get those back. Also, the advertisements in the paper, even though it costs a little bit to do that, we know it works because we get those torn out of the paper. So, you know, it's working and using it. And we fortunately have the budget to cover it. So we keep doing that. If you ever wonder, you know, if you see, does it really work? Because some people think paper advertising might not be beneficial, but we can tell because we get it back. But yeah, Rita is huge. help and does a lot. And then the day of the parade, she's the one that mans, like, call it our headquarters out in the parking lot in front of Blue Ridge across from Napa. And you'll hear this again on that day. If anyone's lost, you know, it's hard not to help them, but you really can't leave where you're assigned. And so we're trying to get the routine of just sending everybody to the tent in front of the bank, and she has a big map and she can show them where they're supposed to be. And I believe it's,
What are you gonna do about bleachers? Are you gonna get bleachers this week?
yeah,
Well,
Oh, right.
yeah, and yeah, and a lot of you guys don't see this, but usually Greg helps, try to get a couple other people with strong backs and weak mind.
I appreciate that.
And, yeah, we get the bleachers from Parks and Rec, lets us use a couple bleachers, and they've been, and so Alina, my wife, for those of you who don't know, she runs the judges stations, and when we first did it, we weren't sure, you know, would it be used, how would people like it, so we got a lot of positive feedback about having the bleachers on each side of the judges stand, and all of that too, while I've got a few minutes to talk about it, years ago, we're making an effort to push everybody up towards Main Street because, and I know you guys, I apologize, you're going to hear this repeated again, but you know, we don't want people setting up down by El Vaquero because they miss 20 entries. You know, they don't know where to set up. So we've really been trying to push everybody up the street, making the judges stand in that area around it more appealing because, you know, if you're a band, you're going to play in front of the judges. So we try to push everybody up there, you know, so that's the best place to see it, or at least up from the library building, up the street and around to see. So by adding the bleachers, they fill up, people use them. And, but yeah, a couple people, y'all won't see it. We grab them ahead of time, set them up. And then after the parade, usually I catch a couple of you coming back from the tree. We'll help them load them back on the trailer so I can take it back out of here. And, you know, Greg has been a constant at 9 o'clock at night unloading those things out here in the dark with me.
Picking them up, but I'm usually driving my trailer back.
Oh, that's
Do
true.
do we want the trailer this year? I mean, do you want, anybody want to volunteer their trailer to do that? Look,
I have a big trailer, but I mean,
it's too big.
Yeah, yours was, you don't have that trailer anymore?
No, I still have. I'm just,
like yours works.
somebody can.
The real question, do we have fox hounds this year?
Yes.
And back?
Yeah. Also, Adriana's not here, but we do that as an exchange, and she lets us use their radios, which those of you know that has really helped the past couple of years in communication during the parade. But yeah, they're back, and yeah. Now, I mean, your trailer is good. I mean, yeah.
The fox hounds are fine in the parade, unless the night before a fox ran through town and made that sound. That's what happened. They ran up to the Catholic church when,
Yeah.
because a fox ran up the night before. It was
You can hear them all over town. I think, and Adriana, you know, they were worried to apologize. I thought, no, everybody enjoyed it because it added so much excitement. Fox hounds are going everywhere.
Sam, there are, I know the float folks will hand out stuff to the
Yeah.
kids. Maybe we should be asking them not to hand out until they get to the corner of 15 and Main.
We do.
Oh, we do,
Yeah,
okay.
or not 15 May, we tell them to wait until the start. And again, this is, you guys will hear this again that
Yeah.
day, but you gotta tell them, and you gotta tell them really direct, don't hand them out, because
Servant.
yeah, that's a good word for it. Yeah. And so they're gonna run out, and there's people up at James Madison Museum standing in front of there, and Paul Stephan home,
Yeah,
and they run out. And it's, you know, it's just, if we're trying to push people up there to see them and they run out of handouts. it defeats the
so
purpose.
we're directing our floats, whichever one we're responsible for, are we to instruct them then to
Yeah.
just wait until we
Yeah.
actually moves off, but they can give stuff on 15? You're still okay with
Oh,
it?
yeah, yeah,
Even though we're trying to move,
yeah, from right there at
Spectators.
McDonald's, you know, as soon as they start, like normal where I'm at, that,
okay.
yeah, that's it, that's when they should be handing out stuff. But I see it all the time. They're starting, early, but, I think it helps too, as we're pulling them together. Those of you that haven't done it, so if you look down Madison Road towards Sheets, you've got 3 lanes. You got your center lane, so we line them up on each side, keep the center open, so that we can shift people around if they get out of line. But by the time they come up towards McDonald's, right at that intersection of Washington and Madison Road, that's when usually it's like, Mark and Greg are in that area, Bob Brockman used to be. That's when you start channeling them together in the center lane, so that within 50 feet or so, then they're to me, and I'm checking to make sure they got the number where they're supposed to have it, so the judges can see it and stuff. So that helps, like, don't give it out, when you're on the side.
And the police start to detour, traffic forward.
Yeah.
So.
I apologize, I gotta get to work and then I head to Williamsburg, so I'm skipping out early, so I apologize.
No problem.
See you on the 5th.
As you go, just let me say one thing. I'm leaving here to go to the Blue Ridge Bank to enter the school bus into the parade. We're going to have a school bus with a banner on the side. We do the copy of thank you, school bus drivers, take good care of our kids. That's pretty much locked in now. I just got a communication from Dwayne Satterfield, who has graciously agreed to do the rotary side of this confusing thing, but it sounds like things are working along. And so we will have another entry. How many entries do we have now? Do you know?
It's not unusual, so not too many. Yeah, don't get alarmed yet. It's getting close, but right now we've only got about a dozen. And about a dozen, and that's one of the things I was going to mention was if you know anybody, if you're involved in a group that you know has done it, ask them to get their entry form in. And again, we're just trying to recondition people that, but we always tell them, whatever that deadline is, that's what we publicize. Do not tell anybody this, but I'll take it up to Friday. I've even taken them Saturday morning. But it's hard. It just makes life easier if they just get them in, if they're going to be in. So
Is Montpelier signed up yet?
I don't think they have.
Not just, that I've seen.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Really surprised if they do it.
Yeah, we didn't have.
Think of that. Yeah. All right, yes.
Christie Moriarty.
Yeah, because it changed. It's been 2 years. They always have, the Montpelier always has great flow. So we need to get Bill.
Yeah, he's so overworked.
Yeah.
How about painted orange?
Not yet.
It'd be a good one.
Yeah, but like I said, I try not to worry yet, even though I'm worried, but it's just normal. It seems like, people wake up Thanksgiving, great. But yeah, if you do know anybody, just tell them, please get them in early. It's just helpful. Saves a little bit of a rush.
Since we have Charlotte on the phone, I don't know if through Orange Downtown Alliance, aka Love Orange, we could get a notice out about.
The chambers want to do one too. So Charlotte, if I send it to you, if you could send it out to your distribution list, that would be appreciated.
Can you hear Charlotte?
Sure, I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you.
Your holiday house, as you know, is
Yeah.
coming online. and-
Right.
Yeah, there's,
So, Sam, I've never been to one of
Oh,
these
boy.
parades at all, whether not Rotarian or otherwise. So the parade starts, kicks off at McDonald's?
yeah, well, just use McDonald. You'll see it. In Mason Insurance, the edge of their parking lot in the Sedgwick Library Building parking lot, there's a post right there. We just started that sort
And
of
it goes all the way, ends up.
up on Main Street. Takes you right on Main Street, goes up in front of the post office.
Gotcha.
Judges stand, it's usually across from the post office. And then up, and then turns left on Carolina Street.
Gotcha.
And Carolina Street, and ends down at the fire department.
Gotcha. So if, we get there at 2 o'clock for the meeting, I guess we won't have any problem trying to find a parking spot. Or we-
No, you shouldn't have, 2 o'clock, you shouldn't.
Right.
In Greg's lot right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and even if we need, because we have staged like right there with some kids, but I don't know, we'll determine if we do need some space. We, in the past, we've used the edge of the parking lot at Blue Ridge Bank and mark those off the little cones so that people can park there also.
And weather contingency.
It's, the only time we've canceled has been, we had that really bad ice storm. You know, a little snow makes it even prettier to be out, so. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, totally, it's, you meet there, and it- from there down to Sheets, we
Gotcha,
use just about any parking lot we can
gotcha.
to stage people. And then around 4 o'clock, we move them out into the street, so we can start getting them in their spots.
Not stealing your thunder, who has not worked the parade before? Okay, because what, and you shut your ears, because I don't want you to hear this, but say it is pretty well organized, it's organized chaos is what it is. Because you don't have a clue what these kids do and the floats, and you try to put them somewhere, but anyway, what Sam used to assign somebody maybe like 5 to 6 or more of the entries. So you try to make sure they are lined up in the right spot with the sign in the window and all that, and it works pretty good. Of course, 5 minutes before the parade starts, one of them shows up. That's our, you know, so you got all that to worry about. But again, it's organized chaos. But like I said, when you get up there at the McDonald's, when they start funneling in, which we started 2 years ago doing it like that, I think. So you got both, which works good. That way, if somebody's out of line, there's plenty of room to move them around. But Sam will go all that at 2 o'clock, but it works good just having an assigned spot and just stay where you are and just try to keep everybody calm, the entries that you're working with.
You'll have 2 sheets. You'll have a sheet that says what you're in charge of, your 10 spots or whatever it is, so that you have that. But you'll also have a sheet with everybody's on it. So if somebody comes up and says, I'm so-and-so, you can look in alphabetical order, you can look it up and say, well, you're in 52.
And some of them get confused. You would think they would start at 1 through 40, but that's not the case because of the size of some of them. And when they, so you might have 1 here and number 25 might be right up that little street beside them. And they just sit there until they funnel in. If they just do exactly what you say, it works. But a lot of people don't listen.
And
That's the problem.
That's why you only have 10 though to watch, so that you can take care of that.
I found that if you talk to each one of the people that are in your section and say, okay, you're after number 5, and you know, behind you is 7, remember that.
Yeah.
And when they go, then you go. That
And
kind
if
of
somebody's
thing.
got a float, you know, you got a mother there or, you know, she's in charge of float, the best thing to do is talk to the person driving the vehicle that's pulling the float. Because that's the one, not the one on the float.
And look them in the eye. It's just like anything, like at work, I mean, look them in the eye because. And Mark, and Greg, I would say, it's too nice to say this, but I'm pretty darn grouchy. And during that time period, and it's just like Mark said, some people, they hear you, but they don't listen to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, as simple as, you know, the number, some people take it upon themselves to think, hey, well, let me do this with it instead of putting it in my driver's side window where I was told to put it. Let me try this. And it's a simple thing, but I'm telling you, they just look, make sure you look that person in the eye, make sure it's a driver of the vehicle, and hopefully they listen to what you're telling them. And it works, but yeah, it's organized chaos.
Another thing near and dear to my heart, bathrooms.
Yeah, I didn't think.
I've got 2 to 9.
Okay. Yeah. And we can get categorized.
We've got
service.
15.
Make sure it's a good Foley.
Small number.
Just put a pair of depends on, don't worry about it.
I didn't think of that. I could get a box of those.
Oh, you can borrow.
And so,
Are you okay? Can I move on or?
well, just in, like Mark was saying, and you'll see in that thing, like, especially in front of Mason, it's numbers don't make sense except like number 1 through 3. And then after that, you know, it gets a little jumbled up.
We won't put you up there the first.
I was going, that's what I like, the parking lot there at H.R. Block would be a good spot for Tony, with all the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing you'll see. We try to keep all the kids back there so that that grassy lot behind the bank is, you know, because years ago they were running everywhere. And some people also, you have to be stern with these people who try to cut through parking lots because it's a safety issue. I've seen kids almost get hit years ago, and it's a hot button that, you know. Anyway, we'll hear all this again that day, but it makes sense once.
I take it there is police presence
Yes.
also?
Yeah, and the town's there also. The town, with that crews blocking off the streets and everything.
But when you say like not police presence to control things, cause,
No,
Traffic,
yeah.
yeah, they're directing the traffic,
Yeah.
so like that person trying to cut through the side of H&R Block because they want to think they can get back out on Madison Road.
Yeah.
It's up to us to stop the
okay.
person, I mean, you're in charge.
Oh, this reminds me, the day after it was announced that Madison was our new chief of police, Helene Madison, we, the Rotary Club, delivered to him a box of sweets from Miss Moody's Sweets to thank him for their, well, also to thank in advance for the parade.
Oh, okay.
So
It's good.
you can use.
Now he's gonna have to go out and buy new uniforms.
We'll just give them a red t-shirt.
Thank you, Sam, thank you, and please now come back to us if you need things. It is very chaotic until you get to Greg's office on that Sunday, and Alina Kessler and Rita Baudet will hand you the paperwork that ceases to be chaotic. And she's not gentle like Sam, she says, this is your job. You do the following, you, and it becomes very less chaotic very quickly. But it is still a Chinese fire drill. I mean, it's these people all want to edge it around it. So anyhow, we can move on. Jamie, Christmas tree.
Well, we have ordered new lights for the Christmas tree because the lights last year just didn't work out. And our longtime supporter of the program, Lee Baines, backed out because his equipment failed. So I found another speaker, Gary Seal's going to donate, or not donate, lend me his. And so we'll have a microphone and all that stuff, what's needed for that. And we have to decorate a little bit, but things are coming together well. We need to place, like the paper had, the advertisement for it. We've got these flyers, or we can put around the local businesses. We haven't gotten that many entries yet. So
6, I think, so far.
yeah. So we'd like to get more like 30. And
I'm gonna say
so,
lunch here next year too.
okay.
Being in the paper on the front page, it's helped a little bit. Mark, do we have a minister?
We do not, and I'm gonna just go to John. John, I played phone tag 2 times, and I'll be honest with you, I forgot all about it. I'll leave here, I'm headed to his house. I know between Alan, when are you gonna print the programs?
Not until Friday.
Friday, okay.
Friday before.
Between Jim Beavers or Alan Miller, I will have a clergy there, and I'll have it on the program.
Okay, so it
If I
starts.
gotta ordain Sam, I'll do that.
Well, there's always these quick internet stuff.
We're gonna try to get the picture.
Preach a good sermon. I could preach a good sermon. I'd rather-
Yeah.
I'll see John Friday.
Sorry, anything else, Jamie? Not anymore.
Do I need to help you with John Reed on Friday?
John Reed.
Somebody mentioned John Reed.
Yeah, remember.
Yeah, we were gonna ask John, we were trying to,
I will see him Friday if that will help you.
well, I think I'm gonna do it before then.
I think he would love to do it.
So we got the Boy Scouts, I guess. coming
If they come to
in.
the chocolate.
I thought I had emailed Tom Dixon, but I haven't heard anything back, so that sort of sparked me. I should email
Last
him
time I
again.
saw him, he said it was on the calendar.
Yeah, they're usually very good about that. I just need to get what he's gonna be playing, singing, and then it starts at 6 o'clock following the parade. It's usually pretty close to that. I encourage everyone to come. It's as long as it's not, the weather's not too gnarly. It's a pretty special evening. Lasts for maybe 45 minutes. But we have our tree committee. Our tree committee consists of David Acree, Matt Cowan, Cal, the
Ex officio.
and me. So
Yeah.
That's helpful. Very helpful.
Now, is the forms that people fill out, is that gone out yet and the orange review? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll fill one.
I guess it's gonna be there again this week.
It'll be in there this, the form.
Yeah, it was last week.
This week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then another way to advertise is we just go around to all the businesses and leave these little
Yeah.
sign up sheets, basically.
Hairdressers, don't forget the hairdressers.
Wrap cards.
All right, wrap cards, thank you, yeah.
Is there, you got one for Anna Collins yet?
How do you mean? Oh, not yet, no.
Why don't we just do one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
I mean, Wayne Medina.
Yes.
Wayne Medina, somebody.
I don't,
Maybe if, I don't, if we just put together an email just to make sure we've got people that we all know. about.
I'll tell Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got plenty I can put in.
The obituaries, no, how many we do?
Sam, thank you so much. This is,
I don't-
no, keep talking.
Well, I have to run only for the meeting starts at 9, so I gotta get that.
Are you coming to the Christmas party on the 7th?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, I won't be there next week. I'm sorry. I'm gone.
You would like to be in the board meeting?
They're fired.
What? Not next week, no.
That was my way.
I can call in.
Yeah.
She said,
Here's about that, the board meeting's still on for the 24th. Wednesday.
At 8 o'clock here.
Okay,
I'll be here late, yeah.
Cal, I have a little announcement.
Yes.
Just real quick, Orange County Social Services does a Christmas assistance program for the elderly and disabled. And we have lost a lot of our donors due to COVID and whatnot. So if you know anybody that would be willing to adopt a senior or disabled adult, it's a $50 commitment max. And you would get the information for the adult, shop and deliver to that person. On the delivery date is set for December 11th. So I'm getting a little nervous because some of our organizations with COVID, we've lost some folks. So if you know anybody that would be interested, please help spread the word.
can you email it to me so I can put it on the
Yep.
website?
Absolutely, I'll send it today.
You,
Also, do we get like a wish list? Do we get told what to buy?
You'll get their application.
Okay.
And their application sometimes will say, you know, they'll ask for the whole world sometimes. Sometimes it will be very, you know, we'll take anything.
Okay.
So you can pick and choose what works off of their list. And there's a phone number, you can feel free to contact them if you need clarification for sizes and whatnot.
So this is a good side of all of this. I got an email off of the website. They come to me and this gal was saying, hey, I'm a grandmother of 2 children who I'm their primary caretaker. And I don't have any toys for them for Christmas. I sent it to you. I think I just sent it to you.
Yep,
And you were all over. Oh, maybe Donna as well.
I sent them the application because we collect the applications for the toy box.
So those kids are gonna have a much better Christmas as a result of just one contact, one email, which was kind of cool. I felt
I
good.
agree. And if we can help you, we could put, group email out to all Rotarians.
I appreciate it. I'll send it to
Jamie
Jamie.
has the list. I have it. I mean, I just, hit a button and it goes to everybody. So either go to Jamie or to me or somebody with what you want and we can get it.
Roughly
out.
right now, so how many applications do you have right now?
We have, I don't know the final count, but when I was looking at the applications last night, the stack that I had was around 75.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many people do you have signed up, adopters?
We've got about a quarter of them adopted right now. And again, we get people at last minute that come in, but I'm just, yeah. we get their hands a little bit. Yeah, because we used to have groups like at the high school that would adopt a big chunk of those.
Yeah.
And we're just, COVID set that back and I haven't heard back from some of those teachers and December 11th will be here soon, so it's kind of like, I think it was last night when I started really realizing how.
So there's a form we can just fill out.
There's a form, absolutely. It's a request to adopt form and basically just helps us assign the person to the family or to the people on the list.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And follow up now because we can push this out
I will.
today or
I'll
tomorrow.
send it
We can
today.
get it real quick.
Can we push the form along with the email?
I'll attach the request to adopt form. Yes.
Yeah, so if you could punch something to me or to Jamie, if we both have, you have the whole group.
Right, actually, I was thinking of there's a way on our website to place an ad. I thought it was a perfect thing to put an ad along one of the sides
Thank you.
and see if So I'll talk to you about it.
Send it to him.
Okay.
He's the guru here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Teaching.
All right, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Let's just go along real quick because we're running out of time and then Martha needs to.
I've got to get to food bank. in a few
It's okay.
minutes, so.
Actually, it's okay. I'm running over here a little bit. The next event is the Christmas party. I think everyone knows now that it's at Ellen's house. Y'all clear on that? Okay, same time, 5:30. I think the invitation said at 8, but that's really.
No, it's really 5:30 to 6 p.m. And everybody's invited to stay to clean up.
Well, see, that's it. From 6:30 to 8, we all clean up.
That's right.
Yeah, and
You
next
pay
morning,
for the backyard?
15 people are coming to Ellen's
Zip
house
line.
to help her clean up. That's 5 o'clock the next morning.
The work will be done.
Well, we have, real quick now, I know that we have about 35 people, I think, signed up for the party. You've added 2 new ones that
And I'm gonna send the invitation out also to a couple of other.
well, it's, I think we're gonna be looking at probably 40 people, plus or minus, maybe there's a little bit more than that, but Ellen's place, I think, is gonna be okay for that. It's gonna be a great turnout. I'll tell you, I had the nicest conversation with Eric Holman's wife. Yesterday. She told me, I couldn't understand what her name is. What?
Marucci.
Huh?
Marucci.
Huh?
It's Marucci.
How do you spell it?
Oh.
Marucci, is that?
Just like it sounds, really. It's
Yeah.
like MARUCHI something. She's on Garden Club, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like it
I need to email her again, because she was a little confused about the party, and I said, it's on Old Skyline Drive, and she said, where it stops.
Little
I said, "Oh, I didn't have it."
Little Skyline.
Anyhow, it's gonna be a great time, and same old, everybody bring a dish. If you are going to bring guests, bring a little bigger dish.
Yeah.
Because, we've invited Chip and Mary Quaisich.
Yeah.
Quaise is how they pronounce that. I've notified him again that I said, just bring Mary. You don't need to bring any food or anything like that. So, I'm working on having a bartender to spiff it up a little bit, just to clean up the backside. That just keeps everybody from jamming up at the bar all at the same time for the last bottle of booze. But and then that's something we don't have to go on a whole lot. Now, let me just go real quick here.
Well, I do want to say, we were going to be watching the COVID caseload and just
Yeah.
be sensitive to that. And what I might end up doing is leaving the doors open. So you may not want to dress in sleeveless outfits. I have doors on both sides and
You have
fans.
central air and the ability just to run the fan.
I've got regular, standing fans, just keep air moving.
It's a nice cave.
Hmm?
It's a nice cave.
Okay.
That'll work, yeah. I think that's a quick announcement, and that is, I stupidly forgot all the flyers, but this coming Saturday, the 20th, there's going to be an event for veterans out at a farm, out to the east of here. And I was gonna bring flyers, it's purely, this is not a Rotary event per se, but I was just trying to spread the word a little bit. And if you don't mind, I'd go ahead and email that flyer to everybody, and if you're available, that's great.
What farm is it?
It's called the Higgins Hill Farm. It's out on Old Office Road. Yeah, and actually, there's a woman that runs an outfit called Horse and Soul Counseling or something like that, and they do a lot of counseling for veterans. And then it's being sort of co-sponsored by American Legion. It's like 11 to 3.
And
By the way, Marucci says, don't have that bartender you had 5 years ago, because he stole all our best liquor.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, we're running out of things here, guys. Just an announcement. Raymond, David, and Barry and I finished our RLI, Rotary Leadership Institute level 3 last week. We're now educated parliamentarians.
Very exciting.
Thanks for sending us there. We're going to have a program after the first of the year, talking about RLI. Just really, this last session was really good.
Right.
Now, Ellen, those of you that checked your emails from the last day saw, notice from Ellen about the programs for the first of the year.
Yeah.
And I just, Martha raised the question about getting a program in at a different time, and I said, well, you need to go on that. And that's something that we've done fairly comfortably over the years. If you say, well, I have a program, but I can't do it on my day, and I sort of you go back to Ellen, she's the controller here.
I'll get with you to
Yeah.
do that, that's
Okay,
okay. I'm sorry, I've got to get lunch.
That's okay, you do your thing.
So.
Yeah.
I'll see you all later, have a good
Thanks.
one.
Bye-bye.
Have I forgotten anything?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that email was sent about partnering with Montpelier.
Yes, no. I thought we talked about it at the next board meeting, next Wednesday. I don't know enough about it, that's really, we've been, got a request from from Montpelier to work with them on a program they're trying to put together. And I just thought I sent it to the board because I like to get it up for discussion at the next board meeting. Yeah, and just.
And Elizabeth too is happy to also dial in and give us more background on it, because I know there was a question about what, from Jamie about what this partnership so far sort of entails.
What are we committing
So
to?
there's gonna be multiple, there'll be multiple partners.
Yeah, I think, I whatever this particular program is, it is. I don't know about that, but I really feel like we have with Montpelier being in our county,
Yeah.
we need to be hooked up with them. I mean, we need to be right up front and up close and personal with Montpelier and the Rotary Club. So I say that, yes, I'm interested. We have to fine tune the details, but let's go from there. And I mean, I'm approaching it from a positive view. I think that
You might respond to her by saying, we're talking about it at our board meeting, which is
I
next.
will.
Yeah.
I didn't, haven't done anything yet, but I will, and just say that, yes, we're interested in considering it, and I just don't like to throw myself out and say,
Right.
yeah, we're in, and then find this little issue for some reason we can't do it, but I see that as an opportunity.
But I do think it would be beneficial to those of us who are trying to assess this, if we could hear from her.
Yeah.
So if she could come and we could maybe speak at the beginning of the meeting.
See, I believe also too, from a selfish standpoint, that we should have someone from Montpelier in the Rotary Club. Yeah, and I've called Roy Snyder twice, and haven't gotten a return call. Excuse me, Roy Young, I did that the first time. I keep calling him Snyder, I have a good friend in Frederick.
You can tell him you thought he was the actor.
Well, anywho, I think it's a good opportunity for us, and we'll move ahead. And
And I'm just, can I add one more thing before we go, which is the bird freedom that everybody heard about in Jess Sifford's area. They're meeting tomorrow night, so I'm gonna be going to that meeting to hear about what the latest is on the installation, but it's going forward. So those of you who are not aware of it, this is gonna be a installation of a fixed permanent exhibition that will be the Constitution, the 4 flags of the Constitution.
Bill of Rights.
And the civil rights documents. It will be, if you know where East Church is, behind James Madison Museum, this will be like a little parklet. It will have a place for tourists.
It has its version.
Well, it's the charters, yeah, you're right, the charters are free, so it's all this stuff. So you can see in here that it's sort of like a mini archives, national
And that's
archives.
the one that said that they will probably the last one out of out of state before they concentrate on one year.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll be there tomorrow night to find out how Rotary.
you know, if you folks have things that you'd like to have on the agenda for a meeting, by all means, call me. I mean, I'm very informal about this. We can jot them in. If we have the time like we did today, I'd love to talk about all these things that I hate to have this crammed in at the end of the meeting, you know, to do these things. So if you have things that you'd like to, like Raymond did you want to get on the show here, by all means, just come to me. Even as early as late as the morning of, and say, get me in, so I can talk. So I'm not jamming you out at the end of the time that everybody's trying to go to work, so.
And I hope everybody was able to go to the link, because as I said in that email, any ideas you have about programs, throw on that list, because if a host doesn't have any ideas, and we have probably more people coming up wanting to speak to us than we might even have slots, since we're only meeting. Dave probably doesn't know this, that we only meet twice a month.
Barry, I have to get going here, so I'm gonna unplug everything. By the way, can you hear me? Just
Yes, I
nod your head
can.
if you can.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
I stole some lettuce out of your
It worked
garden
out.
last night. It was unbelievably good.
Oh, good,
It was really good. I'll send you a photo.
good.
Just a little oil
Take-
and
take-
lemon.
Ah, wonderful. Now, that sounds good. I need to share it with the community, so. Is there a longer card on that mic, or is that as far as it goes?
It was, yeah, that's as far as it goes. I gotta figure this out a little bit better.